Morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke with Reverend Yutaka Yamada. Today being Saturday, the 7th of August or the 29th of June in the 9th year of Changwon. Let's begin by offering a bow to our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Chombe. Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가전맨세 1. 천일국 주인 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지산 천국과 전산 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 1. Our family, the owner of Chongguk, pledges to seek our original homeland and build the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven, the original ideal of creation, by centering on true love. I'd like to ask Greg Hansen if you could offer the opening prayer, please.
Please join me in prayer. Good morning, dearest Heavenly Parents, parents of heaven and earth and all humankind. I would like to extend our greetings and open our hearts and minds in this time to really connect with you and to grow and develop our hearts in order to help others, to serve others, and to bring many people the blessing, fulfill our tribal Messiah work, and Father, create this kingdom on the earth, this Chongguk. Thank you so much that we can be together with our leaders and with our brothers and sisters. We're so grateful for our community service and our time together doing this Hondok. And please be with all of us as we try to inspire and go forward for this new day. We offer this and pray this. Report this in our names and the name of Greg Lisa Hansen, the Blessed Central Family, Aju.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's welcome Reverend Yutaka as he shares this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome and thank you for joining our morning fundoke in Oceania. Our sincere devotion and heart in the beginning of the day. We are also standing as the representative of the nation. We are coming together to offer to our heavenly parents and to parents, and someday not only ourselves, all our people in our nation also come together and celebrate together and offer our heart to heavenly parents and children parents. Surely that they will come, so we will continuously go forward with our sincere prayer, devotion, and our heart. So thank you for everyone to join today's morning Hundoke. So this month, August 24, heavenly calendar, July 17 is the Children Father's Sonfa anniversary. So this time, there are several events prepared for centering on this Children Father's Sonfa Ascension. So August 24 is the Children Father's Holy Ascension anniversary, Kyombe ceremony and celebration. So this will be happen. And also Think Tank 2022 Rally of Hope. This one is in the September 12th. This year also will be prepared. And also heavenly HJ Chombo Great Works. HJ Chombo Special Great Works is also prepared on August 21 and 22. And Heavenly Parents Holy Community Peace Festival, this is on September 5. And the Chombo Festival commemorating the 9th anniversary of Holy Ascension of Samyeonbun, Three Parents of Heaven, Earth, and Humankind. So this celebration event is October 10. This is offering and registration of Chombo couple. So those things is happening. This is really international level. And in Asian Pacific level is also the ILC 19 and 20 of August. And also our PCLC inauguration, Pacific Christian Leadership Conference inauguration will be held in the beginning of October. So there are many kind of commemoration event centering on our True Father's Holy Ascension. So each providential event, there is hope, there is expected purpose of our true parents. So when we join, let's also remind and feel and really miss our true father and spend time together with our true mother, and internally, externally, let's prepare well. And each moment, what kind of things we can prepare and we can offer. So prepare our heart and also prepare our chansong and to join and each our providential event. And also not only joining, also put our heart, kind of our honor and as filial son and filial daughter, and let's prepare for those providential event. So from October, and from August, September, October, this time period, there is many kind of things also happening. So if we have a guest, our also friend, if they can join, please also guide them to join, to connect with also our Heavenly Tribal Messiah and our movement in the nation. So please pray for each providential event. Today is August 7, so soon those program will come within 2 or 3 weeks. So now many leaders also preparing well. So let's do our best. So today also begin our True Mother's
No,
autobiography.
it's all right, but I'll be with you in a minute.
Yes. Okay, so today also let's Fundok, our Mother of Peace, True Mother's autobiography. So this chapter now we are talking about the story of blessing. So thank you for our brothers and sisters to share yesterday also your beautiful story and also meeting with Christian minister. So loving them, invest them, approach them. So those investment is really precious. So when we see our blessing, this blessing is not only international, also this blessing is inter-religious or intercultural. So some nation and nation relationship is the enemy nations relationship. Even the religion and religion, this is also the enemy religion relationship, and even races and races, especially our first generation case, our elder family case, directly representative of the history, representative of the nation and organization, even the religion. That's why when you meet each other, there are many kind of spiritual battle or restriction, many kind of environment happen. But effort, sacrifice, patient, overcoming because of your suffering, because of your chansong and your love, our second generation can live in the prepared environment and receive the blessing with happiness. So how all preparation and investment is really necessary and really precious. So we could find that each nation is different, national culture is also different, and history also different. But our next generation, our second generation and third generation, they don't have already the national boundary, and they don't have only just own culture, and just there is no the religious boundary or language barriers. Already our second gen or third gen or next generation, they can overcome and they can unite those things without noticing how much our elder generation, it's difficult to overcome the language, right? Difficult to overcome one national concept. My nation, this concept is really strong in our elder or first generation case. My nation is my nation. Your nation is your nation. We are enemy nation. But our second generation, third generation, young generation, especially if their children is under the international marriage or even interreligious or inter-religious marriage children, even for example, Korea-Japan couple, Japan and Korea, even they are the enemy relationship before, but my Korea is my father's nation. Japan is my mother's nation. Why you fight? Both of this nation is my country. So this image, this concept itself is totally different. My father is Christian, my mother is Muslim. There may be sometimes conflict or many history, but how about the children? Christian is my religion, Muslim is my religion. Why you are so much kind? There is many kind of problem. So children's generation can solve internal spiritual barrier or suffering automatically. That's why our blessing ceremony itself is really giving the hope to create peace. Even our first generation may be many challenging, but surely this is opening the way for next generation. That's why our second generation, even you are living together with parents, already you are overcoming with happiness and with love, and you can meet the beautiful spouse for your future. So really, this is an exciting matter. So we are representative and really prepare well. So now Mother is talking about the blessing. So we can see the next part. A few days after that rally, I convened a meeting at Champion with more than 4,000 Japanese wives of Korean husbands. They had gathered from all parts of Korea. I gave small presents to those among them who, as luck would have it, had their birthday on that day. I asked them if they had ever received a birthday gift from their husbands. Most of them answered that they did not celebrate birthdays at all because they were too busy with the strenuous task of making a living in rural areas. Yet not one of them was discounted. There is some sounds. Maybe if you can check the mic is good. They testify that
Mitty's sound keeps turning on. I think she has the phone in her pocket as she's working, and it's just she's touching it and it keeps coming on. So I keep turning it off.
okay. Yes. So yet not one of them was contented. They testify that their lives were dedicated to God's will, and that when they face difficulties, they are bound with to repair and strengthens them. So yesterday part, we listened about one Japanese wife's testimony in Korean-Japanese couple, and she shared the difficulty, but she went to Champion and seriously pray and communicate with God. Finally, she could receive the message from God and overcame the relationship between husband. And really can learn and receive and felt the God's heart. So after that, the mother called the 4,000 Japanese wives who are living together with Korean husband and had a gathering. So mother said, I asked them if they had ever received a birthday gift from their husbands. Most of them answered that they did not celebrate birthday at all because they were too busy with the strenuous task of making a living in rural area. So rural area life in the farming or rural area in Korea, how much difficult? And mother asked to the Japanese wives, have you ever celebrated their birthday, but they didn't celebrate at all? But still, they are serving husband, serving family, and also living together with them because of God, because of heavenly parents, and because of the vision of true love and true family. So true parents could recognize and understand those importance of true family, importance of blessed family. That's why they are concerned and they are talking each other as the parents. So comfort them and loving them and embracing them. So I think those 4,000 Japanese wives is not just loving only for them. They are also the representative of the blessed family in the world. So even true parents want to visit each of you, each of us, one by one, and talk with you and listen the situation and really encourage and comfort. But true parents as the representative, because could not meet everyone, so call all 4,000 Japanese wives there and encourage them, listen and hear their testimony well, and really comfort and encourage them. So mother asked them, have you ever celebrate your birthday? And have you received birthday gift from your husband? So this question is not only to those Japanese wives. Maybe mother also can ask all of you, all wives. So have you celebrate your birthday and have you received some special gift from your husband? Right? This celebration is important. Maybe many, I cannot say many, but some people easy to forget or easy to not think so much about celebration of our birthday and also celebration of anniversary of blessing. But this moment is important time. So how husband can celebrate wife's birthday, and even wife also same, how you can celebrate your husband's birthday and the children's birthday. Even many children together, 2 or 3, for example, same month birthday. But if you celebrate your children, have to celebrate specially each one of them, not together. Of course, environment can separate together, but they can give a special word, prayer together, and they celebrate together. So when you when you see your husband's birthday, wife's birthday, parents' birthday, and children's birthday, and even the anniversary or special moment, those celebration is really giving love or touch that person's heart. So mother is really concerned each of members, even birthday celebration matters. So we could see also mother's concern and mother's heart. So we also should celebrate well. I treasure these women all the more because they endure and sacrifice themselves as representatives of their nation. They gathered in Seoul in 2019 to pay respect to the spirit of Ryu Gan-sung, a girl of 18 who in 1920 gave her life as a martyr in protest of the Japanese occupation of Korea. Our Japanese sisters gathered in their kimonos to pray for this young woman martyr for independence and to ask for forgiveness on behalf of Japan. So as the Japanese, the living in Korea, especially living relationship in the relative and inside of the Korean family is not easy things, because Japanese as the enemy nation to occupy Korea, and really there are many severe things was happened in under the Japanese occupation times in Korea and Korean people. That's why when Japanese wife live in the Korean family, our unification member or movement, at least they could understand, but outside of our movement, maybe when they receive many kind of word and also the rejection and also persecution, but they stand well as a representative of our heavenly parents and true parents, and endure and also embrace and also the apologize and redemption, all things which Japanese ancestor did to Korea. That's why Mother is mentioning all these Japanese wives gathered together and to protest our Japanese occupation and pray for Yu Gansun, who are sacrificed for independence of Korea. So 1920, so that time Yu Gansun, she is the famous girl in Korea, and she really sacrificed and fight to the Japanese that time. When she was 18 years old, her life, her wish is only for living for Korea. Even doesn't matter she was killed, her individual life or suffering, she offered her life to live and fight for independence of Korea. That's why the independence movement was happened that time in Korea. So the Japanese wives gathered together and they pray for young girl, our Yu Gansun, and also pray and ask forgiveness on behalf of Japan. So Mother is mentioning those Japanese wife, the investment and endurance and also sincere heart, and to serve the Korean people and also Korean nation on behalf of Japanese. So really Mother is recognize each of them and they comfort them and really love them. So we could see that. Happiness does not come to us when we have everything. It comes mysteriously when we have seemingly lost everything, yet still feel gratitude. When a woman married a man with a disability or who is of a different religious background or racial minority, that is where God can work miracles. True love transcends historical divisions that resulted from sin and allows happiness and heavenly fortune to find a home. The blessed marriage tradition places true love above consideration of appearance and social status. So when do we feel the happiness? When do we meet God? Mother said, if we have everything, we are not feeling happy so much. But when we feel a challenging moment, when we lose everything, when we stay most difficult environment, we lost everything, we don't have everything, and we are so much pity and miserable situation, even we will lose my identity or meaning of existence. And even I want to throw away everything, even including my life. Those bottom of our suffering moment, miserable moment, that moment actually can feel God, and God is together and can recognize God's heart and will be filled with God's love and God's heart. So when we face most difficult moment, when we went to the most challenging or miserable moment, and that place we could find God, we could meet God, and God can come together to fill our heart and to be peaceful and really warm, become the warm heart. So when we receive the blessing, so each person have a different life, different environment, different challenging, and we are growing and we are spending time under different circumstances. Maybe there is many kind of the struggling, there is also many kind of challenging, but always we are living there, not centering on own desire or own selfish minded. We are going centering on our heavenly parents and God's hope. So when we see and accept all things toward with God's heart and overcoming, then we could meet God and we can touch God's deep heart. So where we can find the value of blessing, how we can find the meaning of blessing when we go together, centering on our heavenly parents, true parents, centering on those heart, centering on true love, then we can find that, realize that we can feel, experience those deep God's heart and also the heart of true love. A person who developed true character and a warm heart will make a good spouse. When you meet such a person and give him or her all your love, yours becomes a worthy life indeed. The marriage blessing ceremony of the Unification Church movement is the most sacred and precious event in human history. Why? It is because the blessing imparts heavenly parents' spiritual reality and allows a man and woman to embody it as one flesh. So, true spouse. What kind of person is the true spouse? The person who have a true character, the person who have a warm heart, become the good spouse. So this is really beautiful word. So each word, how much we can feel the true mother's artistic meaning of feeling there. Through the blessing, mother said, a person who developed true character and a warm heart will make a good spouse. When you meet such a person and give him or her all your love, yours becomes a worthy life indeed. So through blessing, have you met those kind of spouse through blessing? So mother is talking through blessing, you can meet those spouse. And I want to ask another question. How about, are those spouse for your husband and wife? Warm heart and also true character and become the good spouse for your spouse. So mother is mentioning, even any kind of person, actually there is sincere heart. There is God's heart. God is living in any kind of person's heart. That's why important things is how we can offer our life to the spouse, the person, and love with all heart. Then mother said, when you meet such a person and give him or her all your love, yours becomes a worthy life indeed. So looks like your husband, wife, create yourself and make happiness or not, but yourself also, how I can give happiness. I can live for our spouse or others. This is really important part. So how we can put our heart. So finally, it depends on myself. Is important. And mother said, the marriage blessing ceremony of the Unification Church movement is the most sacred and precious event in human history. Through this blessing ceremony, we can recover the relationship between God and children, God and human beings as the parents and child. Then God can appear finally through our relationship. When we see the Bible, God said, God created human beings as the image of God, as the men and women. That's why only man himself, only woman itself is not perfect being of God. When men and women unite together, at that moment become the God's some existence of God. So husband and wife together and live together. When you hug together and stay together, live together with husband and wife, actually that moment is the moment where God can come down and showing God's vision and God's image through your relationship between husband and wife. When you spend the time with your spouse, how often can we feel God? When we eat together with my husband and wife, we spend time with husband and wife, how often, how much really can feel God's happiness through our relationship. And that moment itself is actually the moment which God desire, God wish. So husband and wife, men and women, that's marriage. The moment itself is most precious time. So also father mentioning the first night, husband and wife meeting, the moment, first night after marriage. This moment is the first moment God can come down, husband and wife also come down together, and three existence come together, enjoy together, celebrate together. So this moment is a precious time. So if your children, our second generation, when they receive the blessing and when they start family, of course, second generation no need to do our 3-day ceremony, but when they start family, all parents come together and give the benediction prayer and celebrate that moment. Then this become the historical starting point. God can come down, parents also give the benediction, and all family member come and celebrate your children's the moment of the starting family. This is really the important tradition, how we can encourage our next generation. So as the parents, when you guide your children, of course, marriage and matching, blessing process is important, but in the same time, when they start family, that time all people gather together and celebrate and pray them and encourage them and exciting together. How much beautiful. This moment is really God's real hope and the most joyful moment. So all people really celebrate together, then God's also come together and to celebrate and become happy together. So husband and wife, the moment and the relationship is really precious things. So it is the veritable marriage supper of the Lamb, of which the Bible speaks. Our larger blessing ceremony gather tens of thousands of couples, but there have been some with just 3 or 4. And once in a while, my husband and I have blessed just one couple. Thousands of our representative breast center families in Korea and throughout the world have also officiated blessing ceremony. So when we see the blessing ceremony, there are many kind of styles. So three parents organizing the larger number event blessing ceremony in the Olympic Stadium sometimes, but in the same time, under the benediction prayer of leader or national leader, the blessed family can become the officiator and to give the blessing to the couple by couple. So this is the heavenly tribal Messiah, and this is the Chombo and the true family movement. So from the bigger number until the small number, now those blessing family festival, a blessing activity is really developing in each city, each nation, and each world. So millions of couples have received the marriage blessing. You will find these blessed families in every country. Couples composed of Korean groom and Japanese bride, and American groom and German bride, and Senegal's groom and Filipino bride, all live in happiness. They overcome differences in language and lifestyle. The foundation for this is in the vow that blessed couples make during the blessing ceremony, that the husband and wife will share true love and live in accordance with God's will. So like that, many couple now are receiving blessing in the world. So international, interreligious, they are creating and making and living in the happy family. And second generation, third generation, they are also growing up and they are also receiving the blessing under overcoming those challenging because of our parents' effort and support. So we could see those things. So foundation for this is the vow that blessed couple make during the blessing ceremony that husband and wife will share to love and live in accordance with God's will. So living the blessing ceremony and pledge to God, pledge to true parents. So do you remember that moment when you joined the blessing in front of heavenly parents, in front of true parents? So always remember that moment and we will go forward together with our family life and extend to our tribe and also nation and world. Many people in the world still, they could not recognize our heavenly parents, true parents, and the blessing itself. So continuously let's share the beauty, meaning of our true parents, meaning of true love, meaning of true family, and create those beautiful moments in our society and nation and the world together. So today we are sharing about mother's autobiography, especially the blessing part. So myself also, when I read this part, I imagine also the first moment when I applied the blessing when I was 18 years old. That time still young, but really I feel the vision of blessing and the beauty and really the hope or many imagination. So that time really nervous, but really I'm reading and happily and really exciting to receive blessing. So already myself also spent the more than 20 years. So really great. And all of you, you could remember the moment when you apply the blessing, how nervous, how you feel many kind of feeling, expectation, exciting and nervous feeling. And now you spend the time exactly with your spouse. Now you are together with your children. So through those blessing story of true mother, we can remind again and rethink again the moment. And also we will deliver and inherit those tradition to and happiness to our next generation. So thank you for joining today's Hundoke. Today is also begin the new day and new moment. Let's offer the great happiness and grateful moment to our heavenly parents and true parents. Thank you very much once again. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Reverend Yutaka. As always, this is really inspiring and helping us to understand more deeply about true parents' love. I was thinking, faced with the reality of losing something, gratitude, and I started to reflect about all the times I experience gratitude. And I experience gratitude at the risk of my life and also gratitude at giving my life. What I mean is that literally I've had experiences fundraising and witnessing where I've been approached by people who wanted to kill me. I was approached by a person holding a rifle. I was approached by someone carrying a gun, and I was physically picked up and about to be thrown out a window in a high-rise building. And I remember the first time I was faced with going to be killed by a person holding a rifle. This was in the UK. I went through, I won't go through the whole story, but because there's basically I came to the internal acceptance that I'm willing to give my life to God. and it doesn't matter what happens. And you just as you talked about the Korean martyr who gave her life for independence, and she was, even though a terrible death, she had gratitude in her heart, I'm sure. And I had my deepest gratitude was the moment, I think, parallel to Abraham and Isaac, when God said, you don't kill your son, and he felt immense gratitude. I felt immense gratitude when the police came around and stopped the person with the rifle from shooting me. And that depth of gratitude came about because I was facing a risk, but I accepted that risk and put God first. And then this immense deep gratitude came. And also at the time of blessing, blessings as in when God does things around us, and especially the blessing itself, where we went to Korea and got blessed. I was willing and gave my life to my spouse, and also the blessing was another time of immense gratitude. And so I realized that gratitude all depends on not the circumstance, where it could be dangerous or happy. The gratitude depth increased with the amount of seriousness I had in willing to give my life for God, for my spouse. And the deeper that was, the deeper the gratitude. So it seemed to, I realized they go together. The more I'm willing to give, the more gratitude I felt. And so I'm sure others have had similar situations, fundraising and witnessing, where they had to stand up and accept the risk that they face. So taking a risk in the blessing and taking a risk always requires us to accept the responsibility as our own, and that helps us to experience deeper gratitude. So yes, thank you. All right, who would like to share? Everyone's reflecting, I can see. Yes, Mr. Arai, go ahead.
Morning, everyone. I missed yesterday because internet connection was bad. Sorry, yesterday. Thank you. Today, such a incredible historical blessing. Also, meaning of the blessing. Like a 4,000, 6,000 Japanese wife blessed with Korean country men, and today towards the end of our presentation, because of blessing imparts heavenly parents spiritual reality, men, women, to embrace it as one flesh. This is true and incredible true, but this is true, but to realize like 4,000, 6,000 Japanese wife had their life battle, challenge, sacrifice. It's incredible. I think here in Kana and Mr. Choi, they had that kind of blessing, and I think, of course, some couple could not overcome, but some couple overcome. When we hear that kind of testimony, it is incredible. They
Oh, looks like you might have frozen. Yep, definitely frozen. Oh, yeah, you're back again, but you can't hear you, Mr. Arai.
okay, I can hear. Then you know, I cannot give any, like it's a message, but like a true mother standing in front of 4,000 couple and show incredible deeper directions. Then we really understand true mother went more than difficult life than anyone. That's why mother can give that kind of direction. And I think always I was thinking why mother can do it. I think one of my guesses because Heavenly Father is really incredible. Heavenly Father heart for restoration. I think if we have a difficult life, but compared if we think about Heavenly Father, Heavenly Parent, it is incredible how Heavenly Father went hard course, and so that's why I was thinking that way. Anyway, thank you so much, such an important, and also thank you for John's testimony, and you are lucky to survive, and also deep. You that time, that moment, you felt you showed gratitude. It is incredible testimony, and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arai. Thank you.
あんまり言う人いないか。
うんよ。あのね。
Yes, Mr. Reverend, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm touched about True Father's word. Happiness does not come to us when we have everything. It comes mysteriously when we have seemingly lost everything. It still feel, but yet still feel gratitude. This was really so yeah, and meaningful for us, for me also. Yeah, it looks like we have everything, the moment, from outside people or another people, some people, they envy to us, but we don't feel so much gratitude when we have everything. When we lost, and but not to complete complain, but we feel, still, gratitude to heaven and the environment for everything. And so that true happiness will coming, something like, looks like almost lost, but become zero. Yeah, sometimes, every parents or true parents make us like a zero. We have some, arrogance or something, pride, took everything, look as a humble, like a Moses in the desert. Moses is a, king of Egypt, prince of Egypt, but he lost in the desert, completely zero, almost die. But I hear the sound of a lamb and find the well, and another family there, new life started. Yeah, something like this is very meaningful for us, our life of faith. And yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Reverend Issa. Okay, we have time for someone to be the last person to share. Would like to share. Yes, Aranka, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good morning. I'm also, thinking about the happiness doesn't come when we have everything. That was struck me. When we have a difficulty, and often we cannot overcome without God's help, without communicating with God. And once we overcome, actually, the more difficult, the deeper relationship with that person, or also close to God as well. So I think difficult things happens in our life is that I feel blessing too. Thank you.
Thank you. It's time for us to offer our unison prayer together. So I'll just share the screen. Okay, let's begin. June, June, June. Thank you, everyone. And I'd like to remind all the national leaders that we have a special meeting with President Hori in less than an hour. So, and thank you, everyone, and hope you have a great day. And see you tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.